Hello, people on the internet watching car reviews. Welcome to this, the 2023 Toyota GR86. Now, I've already reviewed a base model 86 as well as the BRZ, and I want to get this premium model up on the lift so we can really deep dive into the differences between the base, the premium, and of course the ZC8 Subaru BRZ. So today, I'm going to get this up in the air. We're going to really nerd out in the tech specs and then go give it the beans. Okay, a premium model only feature. Even the BRZ doesn't get that. Duckbill spoiler. Also, global market rear fog light, albeit it's not used as a rear fog light in North America, but very easily could be adapted to. All versions of this car utilize the same stainless steel exhaust system with 53mm diameter piping or 2 inches SAE. Rear suspension, all models utilize a double wishbone multi-link rear setup, housing a Torsen limited slip rear differential with a 4.1 final drive ratio, mounted in 4 locations to a steel rear subframe. Where the major difference lies between a BRZ and an 86 is how the rear anti-sway bar is mounted directly to the rear subframe via this tab. Additionally, the 86's rear anti-sway bar is 1mm larger in diameter than a BRZ's at 15mm. This one is solid also. The BRZ's rear anti-sway bar is actually mounted directly to the body. Ironically, despite the Toyota having an 11% higher rear spring rate, the damper says Subaru on it. It doesn't say Toyota anywhere. And this should have matching dampening rates to go with those stiffer springs, so it looks like Subaru just builds it for Toyota. Additionally, the rear trailing links on the Subaru have stiffer bushings. Well, look at that. The rear upper wishbone is actually manufactured out of cast iron rather than stamped steel. Regardless of what transmission or trim you choose on the new ZN8 GR86, the maximum curb weight will only change by 57 pounds from the lightest variant to the heaviest. And this premium manual transmission model weighs in at 2,833 pounds with a 56-44 front to rear weight distribution. Transmission-wise, while there is an optional 6-speed auto, I've driven it, it's not bad. I would highly recommend, if you can, the AZ6 based TL70 6-speed manual transmission. Now, I said it's AZ6 based because 80% of the components are different on this TL70 versus the AZ6. Now, what's ironic about the AZ6 is they're rated for a maximum torque input of 250 newton meters, which translates to 184 pound-feet. Ironically, that's the exact output of this FA24 engine, 184 pound-feet. Also, keep in mind, a maximum torque input is just the manufacturer's rating for that application. It doesn't mean that's all this transmission can handle. I'm sure it can handle quite a bit more. So if you look right here, the tail section of the transmission has these braces that go up inside the shifter housing to give you a more firm shifter feel, make everything sturdy down here. Up front, all variants of this platform utilize a McPherson strut style suspension. Nice aluminium sump guard. One of the main areas where the 86 differs from a BRZ though are the cast iron front knuckles, where the Subaru utilizes aluminium made ones. Additionally, the Toyota's front spring rate is 7% lower than the Subaru. The Toyota also has a solid front anti-sway bar, and the Subaru's is 0.3mm larger, where this one measures in at 18.21. I think some of that is the paint / powder coating. Well, that'll take a hit. And yes, it does clear a parking curb. It's time for the braking test. No one behind me. Ready? Whoa! Oh, great! Makes a big difference with these tires on the premium model. That was short. That was such a short stop. She sells by the seashore. That braking was just made possible thanks to a 2-piston floating front caliper with an 11.6-inch or 295mm front rotor. The wheels on the premium model 86 are an 18 by 7.5 wrapped in a 215/40 Michelin Pilot Sport 4 tire, whereas the base model you get 17s with Michelin Premises. And I've driven this thing on Monticello Raceway in New York. and the base model is a little bit more fun. It depends on your driving style though, if you prefer more grip or a little bit more Takumi style. Out back you have a single piston floating caliper with a 290mm or 11.4 inch rotor, and the wheel and tire is the same size as you get up front. In the name of science, it is now time to give this thing the beans. Bolstering assessment, excellent. Great bolstering. These are really comfortable seats too. I like them a lot in the 86 and the BRZ. They are heated. There's some switches in the center. Essentially you get two modes of traction control, fully off or partially off for track mode. Track mode changes your gauge cluster layout. I'm going to just fully defeat everything and see what this thing can do. I already know what it can do, but I'm gonna see what it can do again. All right. Perfect. Chirp second. Such a good car. That's good. So good. It's just the perfect amount of quick. It's light. Trueno blue with a satin finish is actually kind of pretty. Underneath the head of the 2023 Toyota GR86 is the FA24 Delta, which is a all aluminum, naturally aspirated 4-cam, horizontally opposed 2.4 liter 4-cylinder that produces 228 horsepower at 7,000 RPM and 184 pound-feet of torque at 3,700 RPM. This is a jointly developed engine between Toyota and Subaru, thus it is used in both cars. Toyota's involvement being fairly minimal with the plastic engine cover and the D4S port and direct fuel injection system. Now this engine is more than just simply a larger bore version of the FA20 found in the previous generation of this platform, where the major differences is found in the connecting rods of the new 2.4 liter. They are straight, similar to how you found in the older Subaru EJ engines, whereas the previous FA20, they're cast at an angle, which makes a big difference when it comes to assembly of the engine. It makes it more similar to an EJ series engine. Also, the ECU mapping between Toyota's version and the Subaru version is different. The way that you'll notice it is in the throttle response. The Subaru's is more of a linear throttle map, whereas this is non-linear. Also, the engine is 94 by 86 millimeter bore and stroke with a 12.5:1 compression ratio. It does have dual AVCS, which is Subaru's version of variable valve timing on both intake and exhaust cams. Ease of maintenance in this engine bay is great. I mean, the engine itself really only occupies this area. All back here is transmission. Only exception to that is the fact that the cylinder heads do face sideways, but I can still get my hand between the head and the frame rail right there. AC compressor, alternator, easy to get to, top mounted oil filter, back to a plastic intake manifold again versus aluminum red wrinkle finish one on the last version of the previous model. Looking down the front of the engine bay where the belts are at, the reason why they never put a turbo in one of these, because the FA24F found in the WRX has a bottom front mounted turbo, which would have raised the entire engine in this car, ruining its low center of gravity. Upper shock tower braces mounted to the firewall. AC condenser and radiator are cantered frontwards. Why I love this car is because it's not about trying to prove anything to anyone. That's why they didn't add a turbo to this thing. It doesn't need a turbo. It doesn't need to be any faster than it already is. It's affordable for most of the masses, and it's phenomenal. It's absolutely amazing to drive this thing. I would choose this out of any other two-door rear drive sports car on the market today. For most of you die-hard car enthusiasts out there, it really only boils down to two choices. This, the BRZ, or the MX-5 Miata. And the reason why I would choose this over the MX-5 Miata is because I'm a fucking Sasquatch. I can't really recline the driver's seat in that thing, and I fit, but it's really snug, and I think on a longer drive it would just make me like the car less. This, it has a useless back seat that you could put something back there. It's an odd shaped human or a child, and the trunk is usable. Nobody actually wants to see this. I don't know why I do it. the world's tiniest floor mat, the back of GR86. Realistically, a normal-sized adult could possibly sit in this back seat, so don't go based on my opinion. I will say my head, this is as far back as I can lean, or I could just stick it in the glass. But then I'm gonna leave all kinds of greasy hair prints, and no one wants that. Or also, if you have the rear defrost on, your hair could spontaneously combust. I don't actually think that's a thing. Toyota probably did plan for that. Well, that's neat. The clear scuff protector has GR86 on it. You can disagree with me, but I'll say that's a usable trunk for most people. If this were a Subaru, these accents and this stitching would be red. And the steering wheel wouldn't say GR, nor would it have a Toyota emblem. There's a fly in here. Some areas they could improve upon a little bit, and I won't criticize it too harsh because the price point is amazing for what you're getting, and that's the infotainment system. It looks like something you'd watch weather alerts from that you bought at Radio Shack. The premium model gets 2 more additional speakers than the base model. It does everything you need it to. It's just, it's not visually satisfying. Biggest difference inside for the premium is suede accents. Suede up here, aluminum pedals. The side menu lets you scroll through various different options. You can notice the dyno chart on the 2.4 liter, the torque dip is significantly less and you really don't even feel it driving the car. Safety features, digital climate control. The temperature is displayed inside the dial. A 2023 Toyota, a 1991 Toyota. Good size backup camera. And also, I might add, if you are a fan of these cars, go on YouTube's and search up Suchia's 86 with ITBs on it. Oh, it just has that glorious 4 AGE sound coming out of this flat 4. It's amazing. I can't wait to see if a company, I think it's Sard is the one that makes them. I hope they make them for the 2.4 liter because ITBs belong on this engine. That being said, modification-wise, I don't think it needs a turbo. I don't think it needs really any more power other than just some fine-tuning things like ITBs and a little bit different exhaust, open it up a bit. Other than that, it's good out of the box. One thing I would like to see them do, and they did offer a special edition this year, there's only 860 units of it and it comes in a special orange color, is offer the special TRD color that comes on the trucks each year for the 86 because they have some phenomenal colors for the Tacoma and the 4Runner and the Tundra, the Sequoia. Love to see that on one of these. The Alcantara suede interior is nice, but the base model interior is not a deal breaker. The additional 2 speakers you get with the premium package, I didn't notice a difference really. The sound system isn't award-winning in here. It's no Mark Levinson. So here's a tough question for those of you looking to buy a 23 GR86. What are you supposed to do now that they just released the 2024 Trueno edition, inspired by none other than the Fujiwara Tofu shop in Initial D? And thankfully, Toyota did it right. This is more than just an appearance package because for the first time, you can get Brembo brakes and SOX dampers on the GR86. And there's only going to be 860 of these ever produced. And there'll only be 860 of these produced as well. So for those of you Initial D fans out there, yeah, this is the car of all cars other than buying an original Hashiroku. And personally, I think Toyota knocked it out of the park by actually putting this into production and not just making it a concept or teaser car like they did the Back to the Future Tacoma a couple of years back. This is definitely going to be a car to want to get your hands on. The fuel economy, it doesn't matter how aggressive you drive this thing, it's still livable for something you'd use as a daily driver. Everything about this car is usable as a daily driver. Just because you might haul 600 pounds of dog food once in someone else's lifetime doesn't mean that you need to buy a 3-row 7-passenger SUV. Everyone needs a sports car. You know by now how this works, and if you don't, someone in the comments will help you. First is the bean score, the assessment to the feeling you get in your gut. That's not really my gut, but we'll go with it when you give it the beans. And the 23 GR86 Premium gets a rating of, followed by the value assessment cookie score. This Premium in the low 30s gets a rating of. Next, the ease of maintenance wrench score, it gets a rating of. Followed by the handling assessment squid score, and it gets a rating of. Lastly is the penguin score, the assessment on how much I like a vehicle, and the GR86 Premium gets a rating of. The end result of having a diehard car enthusiast as the head of a car company is there is way too many appealing options to want to own right now. GR4 Corolla, this, Supra, and if they bring back the MR2, I don't even know which way to go. I hope you guys enjoyed this review. I'll see you soon with another. Bye.